and welcome to CatavanCast, Van Life with a Cat. It's the show where we discuss our experiences travelling through the many countries of Europe in a camper van. I'm Ben.
I'm Frey. And Dalgo's awake today. She's just flipstids on the bed.
Yeah, it's almost like she's waiting to start playing.
I know.
There may be some banging and scratching and things in the background of this.
Can you sense the mischievousness?
Yeah, there's energy building. It's night time, it's cooler, she can now has the energy to run around.
Yes.
But today we're talking about Poland.
Yes.
Which seems like a lifetime ago, frankly. This is, well, other than the small matter of the robbery in Sweden,
Yes.
this is another time when things started going wrong.
One of many.
Yes.
But yes.
Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poland is one of my favourite countries, by the way. I'm going to put this out there now.
Yeah, Poland was, but we had made plans. If this whole coronavirus thing hadn't have happened, we'd have been back there by now.
Yeah.
We were going to go back in the spring, weren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And that would have been amazing.
See a lot more, but as it was, the time of year and everything else, we were quite rushed. And stuff with the van, so yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that. The legal stuff, as always, we'll start with. Again, as with everywhere, anywhere you're driving, you must have your driving license, your proof of insurance, which is your green card, your passport, and your registration documents, which, if you're British, is your V5. You must have your headlight deflector stickers on if you're a right-hand drive vehicle, again, if you're British. Vehicles with vehicles, let me start that again, vehicles with 4 or more wheels must have a warning triangle.
Okay.
So bikes and trucks don't need one.
Cool.
Cars and trucks and stuff do. Headlights must be on at all times, all year round. Now it's odd, because that Poland isn't one of those countries I remember as having lights on.
Maybe it's because the north of Poland is on the...
Yeah, it is such a big... You forget how big...
Yeah.
It's the 9th biggest country in Europe.
Okay, nice.
And yeah, it's bigger than Italy and the UK. Not combined, I don't think, but...
Could you
it might be, because they're quite a slim country. Anyway, yeah, it is a huge country, and I suppose it probably is just, well, they have to up north, so we do it everywhere. But yeah, all year round, headlights must be on at all times. You must have reflective jackets, and your vehicle must have a fire extinguisher. Minimum safety equipment for motorcyclists is a crash helmet. Now, this fact, again, this is according to the RAC, and anyone who's listened to a few of these knows that I'm not sure they're the most reliable of people for this sort of thing. But this seems like an odd fact. Children up to 7 years old may be a passenger on a moped or motorcycle without a helmet if the vehicle does not exceed 40 kilometers an hour.
That might, just off the top of my head, it could be that...
It's a choice of words there.
Yes. Getting kids helmets and things like that. Kids grow very quickly. Yeah. So what size helmet do you get for them?
I had one when I was like when I was like, as soon as I was old enough to sit on the back of a motorcycle, I had one.
Yeah. I don't know. It might
just seems, children's heads are more fragile. Anyway, seems a weird rule, but there you are. That's the rule.
Maybe they also mend better.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
They haven't quite fused yet, so it's okay.
Yeah, they're more malleable. Another one: drivers and front seat passengers must wear seatbelts at all time. The rear passengers must wear seatbelts if the vehicle has them. So if your vehicle doesn't have rear seatbelts, it doesn't need it.
Yeah.
But if you have them, they must be worn at all times. Poland is the first country and only country I can recall where they have a variable speed limit depending on the time of day.
Oh, okay.
So in built-up areas, which is towns, cities and things, between 5 a.m. and 11 p.m. it's 50 kilometers an hour, which is the standard across Europe. But between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. it's 60 kilometers an hour.
Interesting.
Not much, but I suppose
10.
I suppose there's less people out on the roads that time of night.
Yeah.
And it's only 10 kilometers an hour, but that's just, I don't recall seeing that anywhere else.
Do you think they did that because you hear so many British people being like, oh, the motorways are empty at night, they should just increase the speed limit? So
maybe. I mean, they should.
Them.
Appease the Brits.
Here's an extra 10.
Yeah, an extra 10 kilometres. But funny you should mention motorways. Good segue there. Because the motorway speed limit is 140 kilometres an hour.
That's the fastest.
That's one of the fastest, if not the fastest, at least that we've been to. in the European Union
The EU, yeah.
on motorways.
Crazy.
Dual carriageways are 100 kilometres an hour, and open roads, which are the equivalent of A roads, is 90 kilometres an hour. Police can issue on-the-spot fines if you're not a Polish resident.
Okay.
I assume that's because if you are a Polish resident, they can just send you a bill or send you a fine. Whereas if you're a foreigner, they can demand on-the-spot payment, so don't break the law. Similar note, they also carry out random breath tests for alcohol, obviously, and testing is compulsory after a serious accident or traffic offence.
Oh, okay.
Because they just assume you must be drunk if you're going to try and do that.
Yep.
I imagine. Fuel stations are everywhere except in smaller villages, obviously. Most are open between 8 AM and 7 PM, but in the big towns and cities and on the motorways, most of them are 24 hours. LPG stations, if you need such things, are frequent, like most of Europe.
Yes.
Once again, www.mylpg.eu is the best site to find LPG stations.
Yeah.
Do not use Google Maps. We will say that every episode. Google Maps. Do not use Google Maps to find an LPG station. It will just take you to a petrol station, regardless of whether or not it has LPG available. So mylpg.eu is the best place to go. So, Poland. Polska. So we'd had a bit of a long drive getting there.
A very long drive. Didn't you say it was like 270 miles?
I'm not. Maybe we've had to fill up twice on fuel.
Oh, then no, it'd be more than that.
And it was longer than the length of the mainland of Denmark travelled. So we left Kaunas in Lithuania.
Yes.
This is on the Friday early afternoon, I think we set off.
Yep.
And we...
Which is about midday in
about
winter.
midday, yeah.
In Northern Europe.
Yes. We did our weekly shop. Went to the supermarket, did our shop, and then we went to Warsaw. We got into Warsaw just after midnight, I think.
Yeah, it
It wasn't.
dark.
Yeah, it was certainly dark,
yeah.
and we went through all along the river of Warsaw, and we crossed the border. I've written a lot of places down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to slaughter the pronunciations of these. I apologise to anybody. I was brought up just outside Birmingham. I don't know any better. Podwojponi. I don't know. That's where we crossed the border after leaving Kaunas.
Okay.
And we didn't see much, but apparently, because I've had a look on Google, apparently it's one of the more, I don't want to say picturesque, but a lot of people stop at that border crossing to take photos.
Ah, no. I remember going through there, and we said how big it was.
Well, see, I couldn't remember whether that was this one or whether that was when we crossed into Germany.
No, that was this one.
Oh, that wasn't-
I'm pretty
okay.
sure that's this one. Because, did we do Germany at night as well?
We did to Germany at night, yes.
No, I'm pretty sure it was this one.
Okay.
Yeah, because we remarked at just the size of the operation.
Yeah, the huge wide road with multi-lane roads,
Yeah.
and just all the big empty buildings. Well, so was that the crossing then where there was a guard there and he started to slow us down?
Yes, it
But
was.
okay, that was there.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I couldn't remember whether that was
And-
this crossing or crossing into Germany. That's when he tried to slow. He waved us down.
Yeah.
Then as we got closer, he just waved us through, and then I carried
Yeah,
on.
because
He had a
well, we
gun.
looked like a van. Well, we are a van from the front.
Well, yeah.
And they had a few trucks and stuff pulled over already.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was definitely going into Poland.
Did he have a gun, or am I remembering that wrong?
I don't remember.
I seem to remember
I
having
was driving.
having a rifle at some point. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so we crossed. We went straight into Warsaw. We parked up. This is something else I'm going to get wrong. I couldn't find the name of the park.
Mhm.
So we're on the east side of the river, and we just a tiny little car park at like a joggers park sort of thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Near the river, next to the bridge. I assume most is the word for bridge, or suspension bridge, big suspension bridge, called Siekierkowski. Siekierkowski.
Yes.
Because there's plenty of bridges in Warsaw.
No, it's a W's are F, almost F sounds, I think.
Okay.
So it's like Kowski.
Kowski. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think.
one of the bridges in Warsaw.
There are many.
There's a few. The Vistula is the river. I couldn't remember the name of the river.
Uh-huh.
The river Vistula. So we parked up there. That was the first of only two on this entire trip. First of only two interruptions we had after parking up for the night.
Yes.
And it was because it was a Friday night. I think it was about 1, 2 in the morning, something
Yeah.
like that. Someone just knocked on the window and ran away.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying when it happens. And you think, your mind starts racing, oh, what's going on? And then
What is happening?
There's no one there. It's like, alright, fine, there's just some yobbos having a
Some
drink.
drunk people outside having some fun.
But at least they ran away and didn't cause any trouble. So.
Yeah.
So we woke up Saturday morning, Saturday in Warsaw, world at our feet, Polish world at our feet. But because of the news we'd had in Vilnius about us believing to need new brake discs,
Yes.
because of the knocking, anyone who didn't listen last week, we got to Vilnius in Lithuania, heard a knocking on the van, managed to get it into a garage there. He suggested it may be the brake discs,
Yeah.
which at our MOT, before we left, we were told we may have to change them at some point on the trip.
Yeah.
So we were kind of expecting to have to do this. So we found a garage. We took it round there Saturday morning. Very friendly young chaps working in there. It was just in amongst a load of flats, wasn't it? Flats and houses. They came and had a look at the van. They said they can do it, but we'll have to wait until Monday. Fair enough. We also got a couple of free fuses from them, I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
Because we discovered that 12 volt adapters for laptops, if you're running them, will blow most. If you're trying to run your laptop, like just run it normally.
Especially if
12 volt
your
thing.
laptop is slightly newer.
Yeah, it just blew the fuse on the whole multi-socket setup we had in the cab. So yeah, also blew one of the fuses in the main disc board as well, didn't it? Yeah. Don't plug your laptop in and use it if it's got any oomph. And this hasn't got a lot of oomph, but it blows up vans. But they gave us some free fuses, which was nice.
Yeah.
So then we went and parked up at the zoo,
Yes.
which we ended up staying there for about 3 nights in total. Didn't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah. It didn't seem like the best of spots from the description and the reviews and things.
Yeah.
And when we turned up, but
Yeah.
actually it was all right.
It was
Pretty good.
nice and quiet, far enough away from the roads. It's about a 20-minute walk from the old town,
Yeah.
I think it was. And it was free.
Yes.
So we parked up there and we walked because we were meeting Marek.
Yes.
Marek, your old friend Marek.
Yes.
He didn't actually live in Warsaw though, did he? He came into the city.
Yes. No, he lives on the outskirts, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think he does.
But
yeah.
he was why we had to, well, not he was why, that's not that we're blaming him, but meeting him on this Saturday was the reason we had to get to
Yes.
Warsaw when
Yeah.
we did. So we took a walk from the zoo into the old town, and it's just quite nice. We'll get to why it seems like such a well-kept old town later on. That's for the trivia section.
Yes.
This is hook people in, hook the listeners in. Everything's coming later. But he took us to a restaurant, and I wrote the name of the restaurant down. Podwale? Podwale? I don't know how they pronounce their vowels. I'm so sorry.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to go Podwale 25, which is a traditional Polish and Bavarian food restaurant. And that was down by the Warsaw Barbican.
Yes.
Which was like the castle fort thing.
Yeah.
Next to the old town wall. Yeah. And there was a moat there as well, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was lots of people outside the restaurant because there was an old Pilsner delivery truck parked up in the alcove.
Yes.
Remember? Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you.
So we went in and we ate. Well,
So much food.
my word. Just meat and beer and meat. And I accidentally ate a mouthful of horseradish and my head nearly exploded. In fact, I think it did, and then it just rebuilt itself inside my skull.
I see. No, that was good food.
That was good
very
food.
good food.
I remember there was like a singing group in there.
Yeah,
as well,
there
wasn't
was. Marek said that they weren't Polish,
Yeah.
and he wasn't quite sure what language they were speaking, but he thought that they were Slovakians.
Yeah.
I think.
But there was just a big table of them.
Massive group of them.
And they just started singing. It was like just an Eastern European folk song, I suppose. Like.
Yeah, but they were all trained singers.
Yeah, they were
had
clearly
to
on
be.
some sort. Yeah.
They
clearly.
had to be.
It was like the whole restaurant just went silent.
Yep.
And everybody just watching these people sing. And I'm like, my word,
Oh God.
that was really impressive.
Well, it all started with like one guy, didn't it? He stood up, and then everybody else around the table stood up and just joined in, and we're all kind of just sat there like the restaurant had perfect acoustics.
Yes, it's almost like these Bavarian drinking halls are made for like, singing or something.
And we were sat directly next to them.
Yeah, that was something else.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So then Mary came and showed us around the old town for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we went up to the new market square. The old new market. Sorry, right, okay. I'm going to get my words in the right order now. The new town market square, which we walked past.
Yes.
On the way back down to the castle parks.
Yes.
And the big fountain.
Yes.
Which is also down by the river.
Mhm.
Yes.
So this new.
It's not the famous one.
Town market square.
Yeah.
Is that the one with or without the mermaid statue?
That's with the mermaid statue.
Yeah.
I think that's the not famous one.
I don't know.
But the big famous square is the old one.
Okay.
It's the old town market square.
Okay.
The new town market square is just a little one we walked past on the way to the restaurant.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm at an advantage. I'll just watch the video back again, so
yeah,
I'll see it all
exactly.
again. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, then we walked down to the park and then the big fountain, which lights up at night, doesn't it? Because you went there before. With
yeah.
work,
So I've been to Warsaw before. That's why I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the places where I've been talking about taking you since the day we met, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so that fountain, it's part of a park.
Yes.
Maybe part of the castle gardens further down the line as well, I think.
It kind of feeds into it.
It feeds into it, yeah. But the fountains there, during the summer, they use the fountains as a screen to display light shows and even films on, if I'm correct.
Oh wow,
if I remember
okay.
correctly.
Hmm.
So all that grass and everything leading up to the stairs.
Yes.
Yeah, people just sit there, turn up, watch stuff.
Watch something on the water.
Yeah, in the summer. It's really cool.
That does sound really cool.
Yeah, at the top of those stairs.
Yes.
Are two things. One's a personal thing because I think that's the church where Marek or Marek's brother got married. Can't remember.
Okay.
The other one is the Marie Curie statue.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes, because she's actually Polish.
She's actually Polish.
That's not in the trivia, we can say that. Yeah, because doesn't everyone think she's French?
Yes, because she married Mr. Curie, who's French.
Oh, married.
Yes.
Yes.
And took his surname, so everybody assumes that she's French.
Yes.
But she's actually Polish. I cannot remember her surname. I think it begins with an S and probably ends in a ski.
Yes, because we've learned that that's the female.
No, then in Scar.
Yes. Yeah, okay, let's not get into that now. I didn't write that down. We could be here for hours talking about it. Yes, then we went through the castle gardens, around the back of the castle, into the old town market square, which is the big famous one, and they had the big market on, if you remember. Yes. I don't think it was quite a Christmas market, it was Saturday, so they have a market up. And we walked down there, and because we were looking for somewhere to get a coffee.
Yes.
Mary wanted to take us out to coffee. So we walked back out past the restaurant we'd just been to. Got ourselves a coffee at that nice little
cafe.
Yes. As one does. And then we did walk back. By this time it was dark.
Yeah.
So we walked back to the castle square.
Yes.
So I keep forgetting it's a castle, not a palace. Because it's in the middle of the town, middle of the city. We had the big castle, which had the big column. And I've written down what that column is called. But I can't even think where I am on this list. Oh, this is thrilling listening.
That's fine.
Sigismund's column.
Sigismund
column, yes. And it was like a festival there, wasn't it?
Yes, there was something on.
There's loads of, there was just, because it was Saturday night, so there's just people going around selling battery powered things that spin and light up.
So we went, when did we go? This was November?
Yes.
Yeah, November.
Mid-November, yeah.
When I went before, it would have been September.
Yeah. Maybe
October, and there wasn't so much there.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's
I wonder what was going on there.
Exactly.
Interesting. But no, there was street performers out, quite a lot of street performers out.
Yeah, saxophone.
People playing saxophones, people doing dancing, and people with all the just light up electronic tat that kids beg their parents for, then forget about the day after. So yeah, we sort of just hung around there for a while, said our goodbyes to Marek, he was going home. And then we wandered back through the old town lit up at night.
Yeah.
All the old churches, cathedrals and things. Look, the cathedral? No, not that end. But all the old buildings all lit up.
Yeah.
Along the river, with all the street lights on.
With all the bridges.
All the bridges. Oh, they were, weren't they? Yes.
Yeah, they were lit up differently.
I wonder if there's more bridges in Warsaw or London. London's got a lot of bridges. That's something. Comment below.
Let us know.
Leave us a 5-star rating and say which has the more bridges. So we went back to the van, bedded down for the night. We didn't have, because that was like a late lunch we had with Mara, but that just did us.
Yeah, exactly. That was so much food.
We weren't even that hungry for breakfast the next day.
So good.
So the next day, Sunday, we walked down alongside the zoo before crossing the river.
Yes.
Went straight back, so we crossed the river directly into the castle square.
Yeah.
Where there was more stuff going on. I remember there was someone there, I think he was trying to raise funds for some sort of like expedition. And he had like a huge rope net thing, which he was making bubbles
Oh
with.
yeah, the bubble man. Yes.
Yeah. There's loads of it's just filled with bubbles. It was a brilliantly sunny day.
Yeah.
It wasn't too cold. There was, considering it was a Sunday, it was full. Everybody was out and about. It was just a really lively atmosphere.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. It was quite a good atmos.
Yeah, and then we started heading down the road the opposite way, away from the old town. And we ended up going past. We went past quite a few churches. St Anne's Church was the first big one we came to, but of course it was Sunday, so they were all closed unless you were there for the service. Yeah. And we
of course we do not want to go in.
Yeah.
And be disrespectful. So.
Yeah. But there was also the presidential palace, which is a huge, really quite far set back.
Yeah, but the gates are on that road, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. And then the Copernicus monument.
Yeah, which is quite cool.
For those, because I forgot as soon as I read it, I remember because Copernicus was the guy who discovered that the Earth orbited the Sun, and not the other way around. Got a bit of trouble for it, as I recall.
Of course he did.
Because the church didn't like the sound of that.
No.
But yeah, no, Poland are very proud of him. There's a huge, it's a big statue, and then there's something, I don't know what you call it when it's in the ground, like a map of the solar system in the pavement in gold. I think it is, showing everything going around the sun. And then a little bit further from that was the little surprise you had for me.
Oh yes.
Yes. We sort of came through it was like a shopping centre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You come out the other side of the shopping centre and just stood the other side of the road was the Palace of Culture and Science. So the tallest building in Poland.
Yeah.
And it's just do you remember the facts? I've literally just had a refresher, so I apologise. I'm going to be
No, you go right ahead.
Okay, so I mean, you look at it and you think that's a Soviet building.
It is a Soviet building.
It is a Soviet building. It used to be called.
I've ever seen one.
It used to be called Joseph Stalin's Palace of Culture and Science, but then they removed all mention of that guy's name.
Yes, that chap.
It was a gift from the Soviet Union to the people of Poland. It was built in 1955. It is still the 5th tallest building in the EU, and it used to be the tallest clock tower in the world until the NTT Docomo Yoyogi building in Tokyo beat it. So I think that means it's still the 2nd tallest one. It is the tallest building in Poland and is 237 metres tall. And they just have the Rolling Stones played there in the 60s.
Yeah.
They have lots of live events on. It's like that's the big. Obviously, it's not the stadium, but it's like a big culture and science building, you might say. But no, it's an absolute. It's so drastically different from everything around it.
Well, it's like a typical Soviet building. It's in a massive open square. Yes, there are tall buildings around the edge of that square, but it's completely flat. Yeah. In the immediate vicinity of this building. Yeah. And it's such an imposing structure.
It really is. We went back there at night and it's lit up in all changing multicoloured lights, isn't it? But it's all because, like you say, it's in the middle of a big open square. You can walk all the way around and every side of it, just intricate architecture and sculptures and engravings all over it.
Yeah.
Well, just remember, that's where there was a few really posh sports cars parked up around the side of it as well, weren't there?
Yes,
people
there
were taking
were.
Photos of.
The other thing I was going to say was just outside, and I love seeing them, are diddy little larders.
Oh, yes.
In all different colours, and they're for a tour company that you can just hire these larders and drive around Warsaw.
Yep.
But they're so small, they're like slightly larger than minis, like classic minis. Yeah. And they're just bright yellow colours, bright orange, things like that, and I just love them. They make me so happy.
Oh, that reminds me actually. So going way back to legal bit. Completely forgot.
Mm-hmm.
There are no emission zones in Poland.
Awesome.
So you can drive through Warsaw. Well, we did. Yeah, sorry. Completely missed that. Right. Yeah, I think a driving tour around a city in little larders does sound like a bit of a laugh. Sounds like it'd be a lot of laughs. I'll leave. We can't slam this door. It slides.
Yeah. So I think that would be quite cool to do.
Yeah,
there's so many little streets and everything because we didn't get to do those, which is kind of sad. Because I did them before when I went.
Oh yeah.
But the little streets and stuff. And again, there's so many churches just off from the city centre.
Yeah.
But they're still so awesome to go and see.
Yeah.
And we mainly stuck to the old town and parts of the new town.
Yes.
Of Warsaw, but we didn't do anything like just outside the city centre.
No.
But yeah, those are pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's like with most of the cities, because again we were doing. To be fair, we saw a lot considering we spent no money other than on food.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back. Like with most of these places, again, I think we're both, but there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
If you can spend a bit of money.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing about Warsaw is also that if you're looking to do Warsaw on the cheap, it is very easy to do.
Yes.
Because there is so much to see that you can just see rather than having to pay for it.
Yeah.
In like words, unlike a lot of other places.
Yes.
Food-wise, now I don't know whether or not I told you this, but Poland has something called milk bars. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And they're
I can't remember what they are though.
Basically from the communist times.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a little bit left over from those times, and it's quite good these days. It's needed. And they're super cheap places to go and eat, and anyone can go and eat there.
Oh
they're
yes,
like little cafes.
Yeah.
But they make good, wholesome, traditional food, and it's made on the premise. It's homemade and everything like that, and it's quite nice.
Yeah.
And very, very low priced.
I do remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go to any of them, did we?
No. I wanted to, but we didn't have the chance to.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause things took a bit of a turn, unfortunately, in Warsaw.
Yeah.
But not just yet. Yes, so then we went to the park, which is next to the Palace of Culture, which, again, I think Ogrod, maybe the word for park, but Ogrod Saski, according to Google.
Okay.
Right? And that's just a big park full of families running around.
Yeah.
And there was the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Yes.
Which has like most of them, has the Eternal Flame.
Yeah.
And Military Guard. And then that opened onto a huge concrete square.
Yeah, it did.
But there was nothing there, was there?
No.
Just a big slab of concrete just there. They must have processions or big
well, because
banners
they've
or
got
something
the
like
Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, I bet.
Oh, ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we headed back to the old town. Us and our old towns. Kept going. I realised looking at our Google Map timeline for this, so we just kept going back to the old town.
It's a fantastic old town.
It really is. It
really is. It's so amazing. I absolutely love it.
But this was where you needed to show me the joy of Poland. That is pierogi.
That is pierogi. I don't even going on about it for like 2 years at this point.
Like constantly going on, and we found a little cafe.
Yeah.
Was it the one you'd been in before?
It's the one I'd been in before with Marek and his brother.
But it was very cramped in there though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a tiny cafe. It's only got like 3, maybe 4 tables.
Yeah. But we had some boiled pierogi and baked pierogi. And they were all it was just kind of like a roulette of.
Yeah, I just chose one of every kind that. Yeah.
Not a fan really of the boiled pierogi.
Meh.
It looks like something that's could come out of a sea creature.
What?
It just but the baked.
They're like dumplings.
Yeah, I don't know. They just look. No, this wasn't. I mean, they were okay, but then I had a baked one. My word.
You're just a pasty man, aren't you?
I love the pasty. They look like pasties. It's a pasty, full of goodness.
Full of goodness. Nah.
Was that
I like my boiled pierogi.
Was that where we had the borscht as well?
It was borscht soup, but yes.
Yes, borscht soup, because that was fantastic as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. We ate well in Warsaw.
We did. Of course we did.
We did very well.
Poland was one of the places that I was really looking forward to going back and having the food.
Yeah.
That's just I love Polish food.
Yeah, I think annoyingly it was just after we'd eaten here.
Yeah.
And we were walking back through the old town market square.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll get that right this time. We found another place where, because I think my mum had told me, like you get soup in a big round bit of bread.
Oh yes, yeah.
So your bowl is made of bread.
Yeah.
And then you drink the soup and then eat the bread.
Eat the bread.
I think we then found that. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds good. If that's borscht soup, then we must come back and devour this. So evening, well, late afternoon because it's winter in Europe, was starting to creep in.
Yeah.
Starting to get dark.
And chilly.
And yeah, starting to get a bit chilly. So we thought we'd have a walk. We walked down to the museum. Now it's not the National Museum of Poland or anything like that. It's just called the National Museum in Warsaw. In Warsaw.
I see.
So we walked down there knowing we wouldn't be able to get in, but I think you knew it looked pretty good lit up at night.
Yeah.
So we walked down there, and then we thought, well, we're down by the river.
Mm-hmm.
We just cross over the bridge, follow the river up, back of the van. Turns out we were miles further south than we thought we were. We actually crossed the river next to the PGE Narodowy Stadium.
Yeah.
That was about an hour and a half walk, wasn't it? That was. We used to have a step counter app, Sweatcoin.
Yeah.
There's some weird, like the more you walk, the more cryptocurrency you generate, and yeah, we don't use it anymore. But we both hit our maximum. Even if we'd had the maximum it can ever allow you to earn in a day,
Yeah.
we probably would have doubled it just for
Yeah.
that walk home. That was a little bit grim.
Great. It just went on for forever.
Because we've been out all day, on our feet,
Yeah.
and it just kept. It was just so far. And it was at night, so you can't. There's not as much.
No, the river was pretty, and the lights are pretty across from the river because
Yeah.
you could see the old town, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's
Once
true.
you got closer up towards the zoo, you could see
That
the old
is
town,
true.
so that was pretty. But other than that, it was just like I just want to get back now, please.
Wasn't there something? Wasn't one side of the river? Wasn't that side of the river just? There's nothing really there.
Yeah.
Or
so
it was all
that's,
flattened or something in the wall. No, that's the old town.
that's the old town.
Yeah.
No, so the other side doesn't really have that much going on. It's more residential.
Yeah, there's nothing touristy
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So we went back to the van,
Mhm.
had another night's sleep, which means the following day was Monday. So we could go
Monday.
get our brake discs fitted. Now, something I remembered, this is the first time, in fact, the only time we've definitely seen it outside of Morocco, actually. There was a car park guard,
Yes.
but he was unofficial. Now,
Yes.
we'd heard about him in reviews of the spot on Park for Night.
Yeah.
So he's a guy, it's an older chap, he turns up in high-vis vest, and we were the only vehicle, I think another camper van had turned up that day, actually. So there's only a couple of vehicles in the car park. It's just a big rectangular bit of concrete, which many cars can park, and this guy will guide people to a space,
Yes.
and then ask for money from them.
Yeah.
You know, when people don't need help parking, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's no difficulty for it. And obviously we were already parked. I was still worried he was going to try and get some money off us, but he didn't. And it's interesting how weird I thought that was, but then after coming to Morocco, it's like, well, yeah, it makes sense. We like these. They offer a service.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we got out and we headed to. No, we were supposed to be at the garage for 9 a.m. Just as we were about to set off, we got a phone call from them. And said the parts won't be in until 11. So don't bother coming till 11. I thought, right, okay, so we chilled out for a bit. Got around there at 11 o'clock, they had the brake discs. They said, we'll be a couple of hours with it. So we thought, right, we got the cat, because we don't want to leave Dargo in the van while people are working on it. That would just terrify her. And we got a load of laundry.
Yes.
And we walked, it's the best part of an hour, it was quite a walk, to a nearby self-service laundromat. Sit and did that.
Not very many of those in Warsaw, considering it's a capital.
Yeah, maybe we were just on the wrong end of it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried to figure out the name of the area we were in, but not knowing how their system works, the addresses, I couldn't really figure it out.
It was near a Tesco.
Cool. Oh yeah, actually no, so that sounds stupid, but yes, Tesco in Poland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, to be fair, yeah. I take that.
You gave me a funny look.
I
But,
take that reaction back. No, that's a very good point, yes. Yes, we went and did that, and we were on the way back. We were only about 5 minutes away from the garage returning.
Yes.
And we had a phone call from them. So they could not get the wheels off. The nuts, I think, on the wheels were on too tight.
Yeah.
And
for them to be able to do it.
Yeah, the equipment they had, they could not get it off. They needed to get their mate to come round from the lorry place. Well, they had to get some equipment from the lorry place. They said it won't be ready for another 2-3 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of great. Okay, we got all our laundry. We got the cat with us.
Yeah.
We don't want to spend any money. But we had a bit of a Google, found out there's a shopping centre just down the road. This will help anyone who knows Warsaw. The shopping centre was called Atrium Promenada. So we thought we'll go there. Because you can just mill about a shopping centre. We can get a little bit of dinner. I think we went to KFC.
Yeah, you can just go to a cafe, sit, you know.
Yeah, and just wander about, look at things. So we did that and had a bit of food, and then decided, that's where they had the really cool fountains, isn't it?
Yeah.
The water fell from the ceiling, and it came at different speeds, so it was animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's proper
That
like.
was the first kind of that fountain that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or the only one that I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was really good.
But it was really cool.
And then we left, and we got out of the shopping centre. Do you want to continue, or do you want me to carry on?
No, that's fine. And then just as soon as we'd crossed across the road over the bridge, I realised that I'd left my phone in the toilets.
Yes.
Because I'm that clever.
Yes.
We ran back inside, and by that time my phone was gone. So
Yeah.
then we ended up spending absolutely ages asking security people, cleaning ladies, receptionists in case somebody handed it in.
We were using my phone to try and track it.
Yeah, because I had the tracking thing on it.
So we think it's still in the building while we were there.
Yeah, definitely.
Just some little yobbos grabbed it
And kept it.
just playing with it.
But yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah, so that was.
That was a new phone just before I left as well.
Yeah, you hadn't had that
was
phone. That had a good camera on it as well, didn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, that was a good phone. So yeah, that was a bit of a disheartening experience.
A little bit.
So then we went back to the van. Because the disheartening wasn't over yet.
No.
They told us they still couldn't get this. I think one wheel was off.
They got the wheel off
Yeah.
this time,
Mm.
but they couldn't get the disc brake off the hub.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
It was just solid on there. They just could not do it, and they took it.
They'd take it to a truck place, didn't they? Or
Yes.
get a guy from the truck place to come round with his gear.
Yeah,
to
but
do it.
even doing that, I think they broke it in the process.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, so
yeah.
the disc completely snapped before coming, like it didn't come off the hub, it just completely snapped. So they were taking it to somewhere else
Yeah.
to try and get the remnants of this disc off this hub.
That makes me think, I think we said it at the time, but when we took it for an MOT, and the guy said, you will need new brake discs at some point, makes me think maybe they tried to get it off and couldn't. And thought,
Maybe.
don't worry about it. Maybe that's just me being cynical.
Yeah.
So we weren't going anywhere.
Nope, not that night.
The guy said, look, we're waiting for the guy to come round, I think, or something. Like.
Well, this was already quite late at night by this point.
Yeah, we were probably at least 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so after their closing time, and they were waiting for the guy to come,
yeah,
so that they could then go to a garage, which was 45 minutes away, to try and do this. So they were clearly going to work well into the evening just to try and get us sorted.
Yeah.
The least we could do was get out of their way.
Yeah, I think they did say we could stop in the van if we wanted.
Yeah.
But we said no. We found somewhere on, I think it was booking.com, we found an apartment about a 10-minute drive away.
Yeah.
So then we got an Uber, took us round there, and we just had a 1-bedroom apartment for the night.
Yeah.
Which we gave Dargo a bit of a play around with foilies.
Yeah.
Because she likes her foilies.
Exactly.
And we had a proper shower and we just got a load of cooking stuff, made dinner in a proper kitchen, and had electric and free Wi-Fi for them. You know, we took advantage of the fact we were in a hotel, essentially.
Yes.
It was an apartment.
Well, we tend to do that. Whenever we face adversity, we kind of just go, right, we need to get out of this situation.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do about it for now. There's no point sitting here,
yes,
unable to move, dwelling on the situation. So let's get away.
And
deal with it in the morning.
And with the internet being what it is, So within 5 minutes, we had booked accommodation for the night and a lift to come and get us to take us there. And we already knew how much both of these things were going to cost.
Exactly.
We had a bit of hassle trying to find the entrance to the apartment. But we got there, we got in. Before we went to bed, in fact, I think before we'd even properly settled in for the evening, we had a phone call off the garage, said they'd done it.
Yeah.
But brilliant, they stayed there, they got it done.
I think that was at about 11 at night. If I
well,
remember correctly.
I don't think it was that late, but whatever. Anyway, they stayed there well past closing time and they got it done so we could go and get the van in the morning.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we went back the next morning. They'd only done one wheel because they didn't want to bother with the other one.
Yeah.
Understandable after all the trouble we've been through. So we had one new brake disc. It's been like, okay, fine, that will have to do us until we get somewhere else. Somewhere else. So.
Well, they said go to a truck stop because the amount of problems that we've had, go to a truck stop, and they'll be able to do it for you much more easily.
Yeah.
And we said, okay, sure.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
At some point.
But not that day.
No.
So the day before that day, we'd lost the phone, we'd had a problem with the van, something else we thought, take it to a garage, the van problems will be resolved. No, that ongoing issue lasted about a month.
Yeah.
We needed a day off.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the zoo.
Yes.
Because Warsaw Zoo...
It's bloody fantastic.
Was it like €4 each?
Yeah, about €3-4 I think.
And it's huge. We got there fairly early in the day.
Yeah.
And we ran out of time before we'd seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I think
massive.
it opened at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And we got there about half an hour, maybe an hour after it opened.
Yeah, but then it closed at 4.
Yeah, we were like the last people coming out of there as well.
But it was massive. And they had...
They have 12,000 animals.
Yes.
Across, I think, 500 species.
Yeah.
And it is just such a massive place with anything and everything that you can possibly imagine. And my favourite gorillas.
Yes.
They had little. They're hench baby gorillas.
Beautiful things, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you hadn't properly seen gorillas before this point, had you? Or paid much mind to?
I probably have, but not. It had been years since I've been to. Well, I can't even remember the last time I went to a zoo. But it had been years since I went to a safari park. I don't think they have gorillas in safari parks.
No.
They probably charge for cars.
Yeah, gorillas would not like us.
No.
No.
I remember they had like a red rag they were playing with, weren't they?
Yeah, they're so cute. They're the two silverbacks.
Yes.
Two big adult silverbacks, and they were outside, and they were just chasing each other and playing tag essentially with this red blanket.
Yeah.
And it's just so cute. The younger one would run up to the older one, kind of in a playful way, like "Come and get me, you gonna get me," kind of a thing, and then absolutely leg it away, and the old one would chase it. But yeah.
But no, that was. I think there were very few people there as well. I think there was the first place we went into was the indoors to see the hippos.
Yeah.
Because the hippo had like a big indoor-outdoor pool.
Mm-hmm.
We got in there and then it was a school trip.
Yeah.
Turned up. So they all kind of got in the way of that. But then after that, there was barely anybody. These kids getting in my way at the zoo. Yeah. I want to look at the hippos. Right? Ridiculous that is. But yeah, but other than that, there was few enough people there that we could go at our own pace. No one was in our way trying to see things.
But then we ended up rushing towards the end, didn't we? Because before we realised, it was like, we've only got a couple of hours left and we're still nowhere near the gorillas, let alone the other end of the zoo. And then just try and work our way back. Yeah,
there was so worth it, and the only negative about that whole place was you have to pay extra to use the toilet.
Yeah, but other than that,
that's a fantastic zoo.
It's an amazing place.
Yeah,
definitely go.
Definitely worth it. And that was a nice day.
Yeah,
that was a nice counter to the previous day, which we kind of needed, and it was nice and cheap, so we didn't feel too guilty about it. So then we jumped in the car. And it took me a while it's a van, sorry. And then we went off, left Warsaw to a lakeside car park. Because we've just had a new brake disc put on. So let's go off-roading for several kilometres. When that knocking carried on again.
Yeah, it did.
Oh God, this isn't working. But we parked up, where was it, near, I couldn't find a name for the lake even. I think there's a lot of lakes around there.
Are, yeah.
It was near Poznan, is the nearest city or town sort of thing. And that was in the middle of nowhere, just surrounded by trees. And there's just that lake sort of lapping. Again, we arrived in the middle of the night, so it's a bit spooky.
I think that was the first place where we'd been where the reviews said, do not leave any food outside, there are boar.
No, I was about to make this point. I thought we were going to make a different point. That's the first time we saw actual signs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, proper signs there saying there are boar. Don't leave stuff out.
Either way, that was the first time that,
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't leave anything out, we never do.
No. We did have a clean out of the van though.
We did, the next day.
A bit of a sweep up. And then we went to... we were on our way to the border then, weren't we?
Yeah.
To Germany. And we went to get the van its first proper wash of the trip. One of those self-service, because I'd never used one of those before. But you pull in, you've got all the different settings, but it's all in Polish. So you have to get your phone out and translate all the words and figure out how the machine works. And it's very cold water. But yeah, we cleaned the van, and then that was it, off to Germany. And I could not find any town, any settlement of note on Google near where we crossed the border.
That doesn't surprise me, because if I remember correctly, we were just on country lanes.
There were, I don't know about country lanes, but there were smaller. Well, no, even this one, it's a bigger road on Google Maps.
Yeah?
I've checked, yeah. But the nearest German town was Spremberg.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we crossed the border. And that was our short, tumultuous trip to Warsaw.
To Warsaw, yeah. One of my favourite cities.
Again, there are already other places in Warsaw. In Poland, that we know we want to go to.
There were already places in Poland that we were going to go to.
Yeah, we should have been there by now.
Exactly.
We planned our spring around going to Poland.
Marek said as we were leaving, when are you guys coming back, and are you going to do places like Krakow and things like that? And we were like, yes, we're coming back for that, and we'll be back, next year, April, May time. Yeah. It'll be cool. And he was just like, sweet, I'll come down and I'll show you around. It's been a while since I've been down there.
We made plans.
And our friends who came out to Finland, they were also going to come and meet us, because that's how I know Marek is through them.
Yeah, through them,
So they were going to come as well.
Yeah. All it takes is one teeny tiny pandemic.
Yes.
It shuts down the globe. So, I mean, we won't be able to do all that on the way back this time.
No.
But another time. There's unfinished business with Poland.
Definitely.
There's things to do. Oh, and the other thing, the other new bit of food we just learned about.
Oh, yes.
Which we only found out about today, which brings me on to the trivia section.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice segue there.
I thought so, yeah.
Forced, but it's fine.
Unfortunately, no novelty hotels or experiences.
Not that we know of.
Not that we know of.
If anybody knows of them, or knows of one, perhaps more, let us know.
We need a horrible experiences European tour.
Why does it have to be a horrible experience?
Because that's funnier.
Call it a sombering experience.
Or sombering, whatever. So, Poland,
yes,
or Polska, as they call it, comes from the name of a tribe called Polani, which means people living in open fields. Also looked at the nickname for Poland is the land of open fields.
Okay.
So there you go, a lot of open fields. Next point, Warsaw was almost completely destroyed in World War II.
Yes.
This is why we were saying it's quite a well-kept old town. Because the old town was completely rebuilt using 14th century paintings as reference. So the old town looks like it did in the 14th century rather than how it actually looked in the 20th century.
Yes.
Because it was just completely levelled and the road will start again.
Yeah.
It didn't get bombed in the 14th century, so maybe we had something good going there. So they went with that.
I don't think that was quite it.
Well, because there was a photo you were trying to take of a street, wasn't
there? Yes, so in the castle.
Yes.
Yeah. In the castle, part of the museum exhibition things, there's one particular artist, painter dude, who literally his paintings are the size of walls. Yeah. the canvas he paints on. One of the paintings he did, and it was one of the paintings that was used to reconstruct the old town, is stood outside one of the churches, looking down a narrow street onto the castle.
Yes.
And before going in there the first time, I was there.
You'd gone to that spot.
Exactly.
Yes.
Gone inside, seen that there was a painting of it.
Yeah.
Come back outside and tried to match.
Yeah.
The picture.
Tried to line it up. Yeah.
But unfortunately, in that time, an ambulance had turned up and parked right in front of the church.
Yeah.
So my picture wasn't quite an exact match.
No.
But it is still scary how close everything is to the painting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think because we tried to get in the castle, because obviously you went in the castle when you first went to Warsaw.
Yes.
We tried to get in, but the queue was.
It's insane.
Huge, and I think we figured if we joined that queue, we'd maybe we'd be lucky to get in before last entry.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to take our time in it, so we didn't bother.
But that Palace Castle Museum thingy is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I certainly want to go in there. You showed me some of the photos of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Poland is a diverse country in terms of landscapes, biomes, if you will. It has 800 kilometres of seashore. Mm-hmm. So if you want a beach day, although it is like Scandinavian coast,
yeah,
I wouldn't bother. It has 4 mountain chains. I didn't write the names down because I'd never be able to pronounce them. It has the only Central European desert.
See, that's intriguing. I want to go to this desert.
Yeah, and it has sand dunes and wetlands. It's got everything bar jungle.
Yeah.
Well, tropical jungle.
Anyway. Yeah, rainforest.
That's
quite cool.
It also has the last ancient forest in Europe, and we're going to attempt this one, Białowieża, primeval forest. I say it's the last ancient forest in Europe, and is home to around 800 European bison, which are the heaviest land animals on the continent.
I'd like to see a bison. I've never seen a bison.
I should have shown you the photo of them. There's just these 4 hench woolly cows. They're just these big, like, yeah, they're just, you wouldn't.
They're just hairy Terry Crews, but cows.
Yes. The Warsaw radio mast in Konstantinów was the world's tallest structure until it collapsed in 1991. It was erected in like 1973 or something like that. Just a radio mast. It was I think at the time it was the tallest structure. Yeah, it is. That's what it says. It was 646.38 meters tall.
Okay.
But it collapsed in 1991. If it was still up today, it would be the second tallest.
That's great.
Because that big.
Do we know why it collapsed?
It didn't say.
Okay.
These weren't the most informative facts I found. The only structure man-made structure taller than it is the Burj Khalifa building Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Marlborough Castle is the world's largest castle when measured by area. This is one of these technicality sort of things, but technically it's the world's largest castle measured by area. Prague Castle usually claims to be the largest, but it isn't because it's not one single area.
I see.
But that's like when I was in, just dropping now, when I was in LA.
Wow.
I remember the guy asked, he said the 2 things which are really subjective. He said, which is the best university in the world? And people on the bus are thinking, like, well, it's like Oxford or Yale or something like that.
Yeah.
There's no, it's UCLA. If you're basing it on number of applicants. So, yeah, because people want to go to the West Coast for 3 years. Like, that's why they apply. And the other one, he said, what's the biggest city in America? And it's like, it's New York. No, he said LA technically is 3rd after Chicago and New York, but if you take into account the greater Los Angeles area, then it's Los Angeles. I was like, well, yeah, but then, like, I don't know, Birmingham is the biggest city in Britain if you take into account Wales and Scotland and England. So I don't know how much Marlborough Castle is the biggest castle, but they're saying that it is.
Okay.
Because Prague doesn't count because of reasons they've stated.
Maybe we'll just have to go to both of them and decide for ourselves.
Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe. Poles celebrate their name day.
Mm-hmm.
You knew this. I didn't know this.
I did know this.
And apparently most people are named after...
And that's not just a Polish thing.
No?
Russians do it too, and a lot of the Eastern Bloc does it, I'm pretty sure.
It's more of an Orthodox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although, no, Poles aren't Orthodox, they're Roman Catholic. That isn't. It was Orthodox, isn't it? That's fairly Orthodox.
Kinda, not really. But yeah, that's what they do.
I don't know my religions, but yeah. So I'm guessing they're all named after saints then?
No, not necessarily, because it can be anything. It's on your first name.
Yeah.
And anybody who has that first name, it's their name.
All right. Well, the website I read it on said it commemorates the saints they are named after.
Actually, I think that is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Because apparently it's on calendars.
Yeah.
Like, patron saints days.
Yeah.
And these are a bigger deal than birthdays.
birthdays.
Because many people have the same name day. So that kind of makes sense. So you get two whole birthday type things. Where am I? Poland is the world's largest exporter of amber.
Which is interesting considering how much amber we saw in the Baltics and Russia.
Yeah, we saw less of it in Poland.
Yeah.
But they are the world's largest
then,
exporter of it.
Again, Poland has sea things into the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, but if Poland is the biggest exporter, that means none of it's there. It's elsewhere. They get rid of it quickly. That's why we never saw any.
I see.
The oldest operating restaurant in Europe is in Wrocław. Don't know where that is in relation to anywhere else. It's called the... Oh, why did I write these down? Punica Swindnica. That. It's in Wrocław and it's been open since 1275.
That's old.
Now I want to know what the oldest restaurant in the world is. Because that's only the oldest in Europe. So it'd be interesting to know how old the oldest one in the world is.
I wonder where it is.
Yeah. So Poland has its own version of Valentine's Day, which I don't think is anything related to Valentine's Day. It's just a romance-based deal. It's called either Wianek. What is it? Why Poland?
Why do they have words in their own language?
Why do words in your own language? Wianki or Kupala.
Okay.
It just said it's one of those, so maybe it's an interchangeable thing. It's on June the 21st as the Feast of St. John the Baptist, so I can say that. Now, I want to look up more information of this, but we're recording this podcast early due to time constraints, things going on. Didn't have much time to go into this one. But men jump over bonfires, for some reason, and women hope for wreaths. Now, I don't know what they mean. I don't know what those two things have to do with each other. But wreaths with candles on them are let off from one side of the river and float to the other side. And if one comes to the woman, then she's destined for love.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I don't know what the bonfire... Maybe the men have to jump over the bonfires with a wreath and then put it in the river.
Well, it says it's got candles on it.
So they have to jump over the fire, light the candles as they leap. Lord knows.
Well, a friend of mine now has a Polish girlfriend. Maybe I could ask her.
Ask her.
Yeah.
It's annoying because like, having been to Poland, I've worked with Polish people for years.
Yeah.
And they've just told me a couple of swear words. But now the stuff I want to
like,
know,
I
want to know about your Valentine's Day thing. So apparently, now again, this is something else. This is another fun fact I kind of want to read into. Apparently, all foreign TV and film in Poland is dubbed by one man. As in, the voice of every actor, actress, child, I assume animals, is done by one man.
Animals?
Woof. No, look, so they're saying that women, children, and all the men, it's this one guy that does it.
I still want to know how this man has a monopoly.
Yeah,
how many years has he had this monopoly?
Does he do accents, do you think? Does he do
voices?
Does he go high pitched for the women?
Exactly.
Like, how is that more efficient? Imagine you've got a load of films coming. You've got one bloke's got to sit there and do it all.
Imagine Game of Thrones. How many characters are in Game of Thrones? And there's this just chap sat there in a booth somewhere.
It would be easier though for mystery things though, because you know when you hear someone talk, but you don't know who it is. And so, but you can tell by their, I think it's him because of the voice, so you'd have no clue. 'Cause he sounds like his wife. And he sounds like his wife and daughter.
Oh, what are they going to do when
he
one
dies?
day, this chap passes away?
Well, he's got a sore throat.
That too.
That's...
Is he passing his legacy on to somebody else?
We need more information on this. I'm just saying, it seems so absurd. And the final one, something we definitely need to put on our list when we go through. We did not know about this food. The unofficial traditional food of Poland is, again with the pronunciation, zapikana. Zapikana.
Start again.
Zapikanka.
There you go.
Zapikanka.
Yes.
Now, we'd never heard of this.
No.
I don't recall ever seeing this.
No.
But the description and the photos.
And the photo.
It's a baguette cut in half and topped with cheese and mushrooms and doused in garlic mayo and ketchup. Now, that's not to say you just get half a baguette. It's cut in half and opened. And now that
cut in
surface
half
area...
lengthways.
Lengthways, yes. Otherwise it's a very... it's all crust. Yes, very clear distinction. Don't let them catch you off with that skin. Yeah, cut in half lengthways, and then they cover the thing in like cheese, mushrooms, garlic, mayo, and ketchup.
Yeah.
So we're getting... Well, if I can say it, I can start asking for it. So I'll have to practice my pronunciation.
Yes.
Give me a baguette thing with the mushrooms on it.
Yeah. I was also going to say this. Sorry, going back to the dubbing chap.
Yes.
Does he speak multiple languages, or does he just dub from one language into Polish?
What do you mean?
Is he just given a script, or does he do the translations himself? So maybe that's why he has the monopoly, because he
speaks everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe.
So you know.
Maybe he's just got an amazing voice.
Maybe he does. Could you imagine? Maybe he's just got like a soothing, relaxing like Barry.
Yeah. Like the opposite of my voice.
Yeah.
Something you'd enjoy listening to.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Well, that's it then. No, that's it for Poland. I say a short visit.
As always.
But then, but especially with Poland, like we knew we were coming back to Poland.
Yeah.
We already had it planned.
Yeah.
Ruddy coronavirus ruining things. But thank you very much for listening. Especially if you managed to keep up with it this far. Please do leave a rating or review on whatever platform you listen to these on. It really helps us reach more people, apparently. And we are reaching more people.
We are.
Which continually, always daily, kind of blown away.
By how many people are downloading our dribble.
Yes. Absolute dribble. If you've been listening with a podcast service, you may like to know that every episode is also available along with video diaries of our ongoing journey on our YouTube channel. Just search for Catavan or Catavan UK because we don't have enough subscribers for a personalised URL yet. Likewise, if you're already listening to this on YouTube, you can also find us on your podcast service of choice. Just search for CatavanCast. Podcasts are released every Wednesday and we have weekly video diaries that go live every Sunday. Please do get in touch with us about any mistakes we made, anything we missed, anything you want to ask, or whatever reason.
Anything that Ben's pronounced completely abhorrently.
Which is some of the English words as well, let's be honest. And you can leave a comment on YouTube, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we are at Catavan UK. You can also email us directly at catavanuk@gmail.com. Finally, Redbubble.
Yes.
Yes.
Redbubble store is very much active and designs are going online every single day, almost.
You need masks?
Yes.
You need masks? We've got masks.
We've got masks. Of any kind. As always, if there is something that you have seen on Instagram or Facebook or anything that I have taken a snapshot of, let me know, and you want it on a mask or whatever, I can provide. Yeah.
Bath mats. Bath mats?
Bath mats.
Bath mats. See, I can't see. I struggle with English.
T-shirts, dresses, mugs, pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening.
Indeed.
I've been Ben.
I've been Frey. Dargo was asleep whilst we were jabbering on. Now she's having some noms.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.